off of my Mac. It's kind of cool. It seems to work better than other methods that I videotape. So right now I should be recording. If it doesn't work out, I will try to do a short video later on where I rip through the hands a little faster and trust that you will be able to just review them in your own time. So the 6 of spades is not a loser because it goes under the ace. The 5 of clubs is not a loser because it goes under the ace of clubs. Our main problem seems to be that we have these 4 diamonds. And that's what we need to plan for. Now, we don't have a ton of points. My partner has 7, 8, and 7, 15 points, and I have 7, so we have 22 points. And if we remember from the bidding, West opened, right? So they probably have at least 13 or 14 points. So it looks like most of the high cards will be in West's hand, which makes me think that the King of Diamonds does not have a great shot at winning. So the question is, how do I get rid of the diamonds, right? And what we've been studying is that there are 2 ways to get rid of our diamonds. One is to rough them when that suit is short in the dummy, so we can rough them with trump in the shorthand. And we can pitch them on winners in the shorthand. So, for instance, if the King of Spades here is going to be a winner, right? I mean, we have 5 there, 1 in my hand, that's 6. It's really unlikely the spade is going to get roughed. Right? So that means that if I win the ace of spades, I can very easily just get rid of a diamond on the King of Spades. Right? So starting with 4 diamonds, but simply playing the King of Diamonds will get the King of Spades rather, and pitching a diamond from my hand will get me down to 3 diamonds. And there's no reason that I can see why not to do that at this point in time. Now, the other way, now I don't have any other winners in the dummy to do that on. So what I want to do is come back to my hand and I want to try to rough some diamonds. And that's going to mean getting rid of the 2 diamonds, rough a diamond, I say, getting rid of the diamond. The King of Diamonds lost, like we expected. You notice I'm playing off these diamonds and hoping that I can now rough a diamond. So I've lost 2, and I have the diamond loser. If the hearts are breaking, I don't actually have any more losers. I'll stick in the Jack of Spades here. If it happens to win, and it does, there goes the 9 of diamonds. So my plan was to rough that last diamond, and I certainly should have been able to. I probably would have played the ace of hearts and the king of hearts, and then played the diamond, just on the chance that somebody was out and they only had 2 trumps. Right? But East, the robot, decided to lead the spade back, and apparently underlet his queen, allowing me to win that. So I'll just go ahead and start pulling trumps. And we see that we're going to lose a trump, right? Turns out we lose a trump. We had 10 of them. They had 3. So they had the queen, jack, and the 5. Which means I can just go ahead and pull the last trump, queen, we can claim. So, simply put, I made a plan that was based on roughing my diamonds or throwing them underneath the spades. Right? That works because I'm short in my hand. So the ace of spades covers the 6. The king of spades covered a diamond. And then, it looked like I assumed that the queen of spades was in East's hand and they underlet it. But West allowed me to throw another one under the when it didn't cover the 10 of spades. I don't know why the robot didn't do that. He may have been thinking that covering the jack of spades simply didn't, by ducking the jack of spades, he'd be able to play something else. Who knows? That's robot logic. I think that was probably a mistake on his part, but it wouldn't have bothered me because I was just going to rough it, and then I was going to rough my losing diamond. Any questions on this hand? All right, we'll move on. I'm going to try to not jump around from seats too much, so I've got another north hand I'll throw up here. All right. My partner opens a club. Is this right? Yeah, it is. And I bid a spade. Something that a good bidding habit to get into is, and I know this sounds silly, and maybe it is, I don't know, but I've said it before. I like to name my hand. I look at my hand and I name it. And not like, I don't like call it Curly or Mo or Merle or Willie, but I name it by its type. Okay. So, for instance, and when I name it, I kind of name it based on its range, and then I name it based on sort of its shape. So here I have 3, 6, 9 points. So I have, by anybody's measure, a minimum hand. If we just have minimum, invitational, and maximum, this is a minimum. Could possibly grow into an invitational as the bidding progresses, but right now I'm calling it a minimum hand. And I'm calling it a single suit hand because I have 6 spades. So this is a single suited minimum hand with spades. Right? And when I give it a name, I find that I'm able to recall it better, and I find that I bid in tempo better, and then I'm able to make bidding decisions. It's just sort of this weird brain thing, but I give all my hands names. So here I bid 1 spade, and apparently that has pleased my partner, who jumps to 4 spades. I am missing the ace king of spades. I have 3 heart losers. The stiff club is kind of interesting, and I have ace queen, which could be nice if my partner has a king. But all that said, my partner could have done something else to try to encourage me to bid slam. So I don't think he's interested in slam, so I'm going to pass. Now I am the master hand, right? So we're going to count losers from my hand. I'm going to look at my partner's wonderful hand that jumped up there, right? We got 9, 15, 16, 19 points, right? And with about 18, 19 points, we usually jump to game over our partner's opening hand. And that is because, over our partner's response. Our partner is showing at least 6 or 7 points. If we have 18, we should certainly have a game. Right? You might think of it in terms of a maximum hand opposite a minimum hand will make a game. Right? So in this hand, we have no spade losers in the master hand, and that's because I have the ace king, the complementary ace king, in the dummy. Right? In our hearts, we do have losers. We have 3 heart losers. They're not going under anybody's honors in the dummy. So all 3 must be counted as losers at this stage of the planning. The 9 of clubs is not a loser, though, because it goes under the ace of clubs. And finally, we have the ace, queen, 9, and we have no losers in diamonds because the 9 will go under the king. So going back, it's looking like we're making 4. And if you're a match points player, if you go to open pairs at tournaments, or if you play in a lot of club games, you know that in these hands there is no such thing as a game bonus. Everybody's going to be in game. The only thing that matters is, can you take one more trick than the person next to you? Right? So this is all about making 11 tricks, not 10 tricks. And it's not about making a game. It's getting that one trick more than the person next to you. Now, none of that applies when you're playing Swiss teams or playing in imps. But here, we really know that we need an extra trick. So when we make a plan, we've got 3 heart losers, and we want to get rid of one. Right? And maybe we want to get rid of 2. So this is a plan that's available to us at this point. What we can't really rough 2 of them as it sits right now because we have 3 and there's 2 in the dummies. So it looks like we're going to have to play 2 hearts. In other words, lose 2 hearts before we can rough one. Right? But if you play this hand accurately, you can actually play it for 6 tricks. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and win the king of diamonds over here. What do we got? 10 trump. I'm going to go ahead and pull one here. I have to go ahead and pull another one. So that's 7, 8, 9, and 4 is 13. And then I'm going to play the ace of diamonds and the queen of diamonds. Now what I'm doing here is not the normal thing that we talk about, pitching losers on winners. Right? What I'm doing here is shortening the heart suit in the dummy. Okay, so now I can play the 2 of hearts over to the queen, getting rid of that one. Right? And now I have a plan for my remaining 2 hearts. I'm just going to ruff them. Play the ace of clubs. Come back to my hand and make one more ruff. Okay. So we started with 3 heart losers, and by shortening the suit in the dummy, we were able to ruff 2 hearts. So 2 of our 3 heart losers we were able to ruff, and we get to make 6 tricks. Now, nobody's in slam. When I played this in this tournament, this hand in a tournament, no one was in slam. We were all in game. Right? But everyone who took the time to look for those extra tricks by using this really basic technique of roughing losers in the dummy, those people were all in the 60s and 70s, whereas people who just got their 10 tricks or got the 11 tricks got poor scores. So, see how that one worked? Kind of sweet. We'll move on to another one. Let's see if I have any more north hands before I move to the south seat. Any questions? Looks like all the rest are south. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to move over to the south seat. And put Barry Gibb in there. And then I will switch you guys over to kibbing the south seat. All right. We're in south. I find this hand really interesting. Right, there's a bidding thing that's kind of fun here. I have 5, 8, 13 points. Right, so I have a minimum hand. It's a 2-suited hand. So I'm going to say this is a minimum 2-suited hand. I'm 6-4 in the red suits, right? And then I am 2-1 in the black suits. So I think I have 2 suits here that are going to come into play. But of course I open the long heart suit. Always open that 5-card major. And I get a bid from my partner, which is called Drury. Now, modern methods of bidding are we open awfully light, especially when we're white against red in the 3rd seat. Right? We want to get in the bidding just in case it's the guy to my left that has the points. But by bidding light, we run the risk of getting too high in the auction. And 2 clubs is called Drury, and what it is it's basically a bid that says I have at least 3 support for you, and I am at the max end of my pass. Right, I only needed a little bit more to make an opening bid myself. So he's basically saying he's invitational. He wasn't opening; he's invitational. So this gives me a chance by simply bidding 2 hearts to say, yeah, then thanks for the information, but I opened really light and I have no interest in game. And now you've stopped at 2 hearts rather than having made an invitational bid and ending up at 3, where from time to time you go down. But here I have 7, 8, 5, 13, and now that I know there's a fit, I clearly have a hand that's going to go to game over an invitation. Do I have a hand that's interested in slam? Well, I don't know. I mean, there's the ace of kings missing. I mean, sorry, yeah, the ace of diamonds missing. I have a stiff club, that's cool. Ace of spades is missing, and I'm missing king, queen of hearts. My partner was a passed hand, and I think that there's really no reason to go looking for a slam over that. So I'm just going to bid 4 hearts. In the bidding, if you recall, you'll see that double there by East. And it's called a takeout double, but it's actually most people would use it as a lead directing double because clubs is artificial. Okay, generally you don't do a takeout double after a club bid. If it was takeout for anything, it'd be for hearts, saying anything else but hearts. It is certainly unrelated to clubs though. And in fact, it should be lead directing. And we would expect, in this case, to find at least the ace-king or the king-queen of clubs over an East, and maybe even find a bit of a suit. West is leading with 3, which is small, which is interesting. So partner has 10 points, and I had 13, so 23. But my distribution makes the hand much better. So we count losers from my hand, of course. We shouldn't lose any hearts. And we have the ace, king, spades, so we shouldn't lose any spades. Well, we can't lose any spades unless we manage to play the ace and king into the same trick. Then we have the diamonds. And when we have a sequence like the king, queen, we know that we have at least one winner in diamonds, right? But that leaves us 3 diamonds to plan for. In addition to that, we have a losing club. So we have 4 losers, and we need to manage to get rid of them. If the ace of diamonds is an East, we could score 2 diamond tricks by leading at it twice. That would certainly reduce. We'd end up with 2 winners in diamonds instead of 1. But if the ace of diamonds is in West, then we're going to lose either the king or queen, depending on which one we play. I think that I'm going to, at some point in this hand, though, I'm going to lead at that king-queen. So, does anybody have any ideas? Not really any winners that we can play on in the dummy. So I think our only hope is to rough diamonds. But to rough diamonds, we're going to have to get rid of them. But that might be kind of convenient here because we have to lead at the king, queen of diamonds as well. So that's going to be our plan. We're going to lead to the king, queen of diamonds, see if we can score them. And apparently they sense that we're going to be doing this because they have immediately led a trump. I'm going to take it here. And I am going to lead up to my king of spades. And I'm going to lead at the diamond. And the ace was offside. We call that offside when it's going to cover a diamond honor. So now they lead another heart. So I have the king of diamonds as a winner. I have the king of spades as a winner. And I'm not going to be able to rough all my hearts this time, but shouldn't I still be able to rough one? Now, what's the best way to get back to my hand? I think maybe the spades are. We only had 5 of them, so they should have a bunch of those. And I'm played the king of diamonds, hoping it holds, yeah. And of course, nobody can over rough the king of hearts, so there's no danger there. So on this hand, we have managed to rough a diamond. We scored the king of diamonds by leading in it. So we did well. So we got to get back to our hand again. Pull trump. Put it down hoping there was a bad discard, but these robots don't do bad discards very often. All right, making 10. So pretty simple play, but notice how we used one of the techniques we talked about at the beginning of the class, back in the beginning, which was leading at our honors, positional power of honors. We led from the dummy at the king of diamonds, which made our queen of diamonds good. And had the ace of diamonds been an East hand, we could have scored 2 diamond tricks. We didn't get that opportunity because West was holding the ace. But once we did that, then we were able to win our diamond trick, the one that we got, and then we were able to ruff one of the hearts. Now, if there had been bad defense, if they had let other suits, for instance, we would have ruffed all of our hearts. But these robots were clever, recognized that I was probably going to be roughing losers, and led trump to make sure that I couldn't. When we talk about defense, one of the things that I really truly believe in is that good defense means you try to figure out how the declarer is going to make their contract. Right? It's not just a matter of pitching cards. It's really hard work. But since we're all learning how to become declarers, we can just simply look at the dummy, think about the bidding, think about what it's in our hand and what might be in our partner's hand, and we will come up with a pretty good idea as to what the declarer is going to do to make their contract. And here, these robots thought, oh, Hugger's going to try to ruff some diamonds. And they limited my ability to do that by leading hearts immediately. And as a result, I was only able to trump 1 diamond. But since we started with 4 losers, trumping diamonds was all I needed. All right, this hand might be a little complicated. But let's give it a try. Which one is this? This is not the hand I wanted. Export, upload to deal. Yeah, this is better. All right, so my right-hand opponent opens a diamond. And I have a 2-suited hand, right? I have 4 spades and 5 hearts, which is not the most easy bid to make. It's hard to, you can't bid hearts and then spades again unless you have a very strong hand. Here I have 17 points, which is a good hand, but it's not a game-forcing jump shift type of hand. So I can't ask my partner, I can't bid hearts and then bid 2 spades and then ask them to bid at the 3 level. Not quite yet, knowing is a past hand. So, but I have to make a bid here, and it makes it a little difficult. I could double with 17 points. Certainly I could double with 17 points. But in a way, I kind of think bidding hearts might be the better deal here, which is to bid hearts, because maybe my partner will bid spades, and that will take away the awkwardness of this hand. So I'm going to bid my heart. Could have doubled and seen which one he bid. Maybe if he bid spades in response to my double, then we find a spade fit. But I'm going to go ahead and do this. So he bids 2 hearts. And now that I know I have a fit, things are looking pretty rosy. He's probably got at least 8 or 9 points, so that puts us up around 25 points. I got these doubletons with honors, and I'll tell you the truth, the reason why I think this hand is strong is because of that diamond opening. I'd say that, it's not a 100% guarantee by any means that East has the ace, but it's a breadcrumb that maybe East has the ace. And if East has the ace of diamonds, that means the king of diamonds is scoring a trick, right? So long as I don't lead the king of diamonds, I will get to play after East. So East will have to play the ace before me, and if he doesn't, then I will play the king. And if the odds are in my favor, and I think they are just barely, then the king wins. So that's another kind of an upgrade I'm making my hand. So my 17 points is looking pretty good to me right now, and I'll go ahead and bid 4 hearts. that hand had a name, it would have been an invitational two-suited hand. All right. So we have an 8-card suit missing the King 10, 8, 7. So we're missing some important spots, and we're missing the King of Hearts. We have a stiff spade in the dummy, and we have the King of Spades in our hand. So we're going to get one spade trick. We have one spade winner, but we're going to have 3 spades they're going to need to get rid of. One of them is a for sure loser, right? One of them drives off the ace of spades. The King of Spades wins, and then we have 2 spade losers that we're going to have to make a plan for. We don't have any diamond losers because we have the ace of diamonds in the dummy to cover the 10, and we have a club loser. Okay. So our plan should be, and we might have a heart loser here, right, in the king. So the King of Hearts, 2 spades, and a club, right? So we're going to need to get rid of a loser. There's another thing that's going on here that is a little concerning. By the way, and you should make a plan for all of them. Like for the 4 clubs, the plan that I could come up with maybe would be to play it under, establish the diamond suit and play it under one of those. But that plan fails because, as we'll talk about in the next week or so, we can't establish the diamond suit. We could play the ace king in another, and they might break 3-2. But how are we going to get over to North's hand and play those winning tricks that we've set up? Right? There's just not enough entries. So I'd say this club loser is a flat-out loser, and we're never going to be able to do anything about it. So I'm really focused on the spades, and I'm thinking about roughing them, right? Because the Queen of Spades is short. But I'm also thinking about that heart loser, that King of Hearts, right? Because if I can manage a lead at the Ace Queen, and the King of Hearts is an East hand, and he did open, he should have some points, then I may be able to eliminate my heart loser. All right. So I think the first thing we should do here is we're going to win a diamond, and we're going to lead right at that Queen of Spades. I'm going to establish that immediately. Okay, now there's the other diamond. Oops, what happened? Oh, they roughed it. My goodness, I should have been thinking about that. And certainly shouldn't have played the ace of diamonds after that, so I'm going to undo that. Sorry. Told you this hand was a little complicated, and that was one of the complications, and I meant to talk about it. Maybe we should do that. Back on the lead of the 3 of diamonds, someone like me should have thought about that for a bit and thought, now what was that 3 of diamond leads all about? And what it was all about, clearly, was a stiff. Right? There were 5 in the dummy and 2 in my hand. That's 7, right? And the right hand opener had opened them, right? And then we get a lead from West. So we very easily are looking at a ruff here, and that's what happens. Not sure that there's anything to do about it, but we certainly aren't going to pop our ace of diamonds on it. All right, so now we're back in this position where we want to ruff our spades. So we've ruffed one, and now we're going to take a shot. Take a shot at finessing the King of Hearts. Right? That was the other way. This is going to be our only opportunity to do that. So we only wanted to ruff one more spade. So I'm going to take a shot at ruffing the King of Hearts. We're working really hard at trying to make this hand. And sure enough, we manage. So the King of Hearts is in East. Let's go ahead and ruff another spade. All right, so we managed to get rid of those spade losers. We have the King of Spades as a winner, but first we have to pull trump. We can afford to lose one more, and unfortunately that looks like it's the King of Clubs, right? Now, what about the possibility of the club going under the ace of diamonds? Well, unfortunately, because of the stiff diamond, we've kind of lost that ability. Really wishing I had taken the first diamond trick with the ace of diamonds. I think we may have blown this hand. But maybe there's another way to manage this. If I play a diamond here, then we know that West will ruff. But we know the king of hearts is in East. So if we had been paying close attention, we'd know that the high heart, remember at the beginning I said we have the ace, queen, jack, missing the king, 10, 8, right? We would know that the 10 of hearts and the king of hearts are the tricks, the spots that we need to worry about. And we know the king is in East, right? If he has both, we're in trouble. If West has, well, we know he doesn't have the king. We know West can't hurt us. The biggest card he can have is the 10 of hearts. So we actually can get back to our hand by simply ruffing high. And then we try to drop the others. So the 10 of clubs drops and the king of hearts drops. So a little complication there that which may have made this hand a little deep for our class and for our study, but I think it was important because we're using a basic technique, which is roughing the spade losers, right? We're using a basic technique, but it's in this little bit more complicated situation. All right, so ace, queen, king, queen. If you're going to name this hand, it'd be a single suited hand, right? We're 6, 3, 3, 1. We have 6, 11, 7, 18 points though. Really, really nice hand. This is a hand that's probably good enough to double and then correct, but I'm going to go ahead and open it clubs, mostly because I want to play clubs from this hand. And I get a raise from north. Now, this raise is a constructive raise, meaning it's a minimum raise. And he has at least 3. He knows I have at least 5. And frankly, when I'm in the red, generally we'll have at least 6 clubs here, red against white. Because they can. I don't know that my partner has support. And if I bid a 5-card club suit here, they might just end up penalty doubling me, and I'm in the red. I could go down 800, 1100 before I had a chance to think about it. So in the red versus white, probably a good idea when you bid at the 2 level to have at least 6 of them, and probably to have a better suit than I do. But I got other points to make up for it. So he bids 3 clubs, and I have 18 points, and I probably want to make some sort of bid, foregoing, game-going bid here. It depends really on what my partner has. I have this useless king of hearts, right? That's the only problem. It's 3 points, and it's a stiff. It's worth more as a stiff probably than as a king. So I could try to bid 3 hearts. Let's see what that means. 18 points, get that right. At best, a partial stop. At least it's forcing, right? So I'll do that, see what he says. He just says 4 clubs again. It's still not very encouraging, so I'll just bid game. Now this one I think we probably should be able to handle. A little bit more easier than the last one. And we've seen this before. So why don't we just throw this one up for grabs? Somebody give me a plan. Right, we're missing the ace of clubs, so we have a club loser and we have a heart loser. Right, because the king is not going to take a trick because the ace is out there. Unless East blows it here and plays the queen, we're going to lose the heart. So the ace of clubs, the ace of hearts, no spade losers because we have the king of spades in the dummy, and one diamond loser. So we're going to lose a diamond, a heart, and a club. We need to get rid of one loser. Anybody have an idea? Anybody want to try? Kind of a simple plan, right? Using one of our techniques. But it's just going to take a little bit of work first to get there. Finesse the queen of diamonds. There's an idea. A finesse is one. Certainly, if the queen is in east, we have the jack 10-9, and that would succeed. Throw the loser diamond on the winner spade. I think that's kind of the right idea. What we're going to do is what we did in that other hand, is we're going to shorten the diamond suit. We're going to shorten the diamond suit in the dummy. This isn't quite the same thing as pitching our losers from our hand on winners in the dummy, right? Because that's not what we're doing. What we're doing is we're shortening the diamond suit so that we can then if we play the ace, king, queen of spades, right, ending in our hand, we'll have created a void in spades, and we don't want to rough a spade, but it means that when we play a winning spade from our hand, we can pitch a diamond from the dummy. And now we will be short in the dummy after we play our diamonds. So should we pull the ace of clubs now, or should we play the spades now? East bid a heart. There are eight spades out, right? And we want to be able to play pitch on that third spade, so we need them to be split 5-3. Pretty good odds. But maybe the way to think about it is this, is pull the trump unless there's a reason not to. Pull the trump unless there's a reason not to. The reasons that you don't pull trump, you can even make a list of them. One, you don't pull trump if you've got fast losers, right? If our diamond loser was exposed right now, we would try to get rid of it before we gave them the lead. That's not the situation here. If we give them the lead, whatever they lead back, we'll win. The other reason we might not pull trump right away is if we need the trump in our dummy for some reason. And there are basically two reasons that you need trump in the dummy. One is if your plan is to rough, you got to make sure that you have some trump left in the dummy to rough with. Here, we really don't have that worry, right? Because we have 4 in the dummy and we have 9 altogether. We're certainly going, unless they're 4-zip, and if it turns out they're 4-zip, we'll know right away and we can just go back to the spade. So that's not really a problem. And the other reason that you want trump in the dummy is when you need them for entries, right? And we'll talk a lot more about entries next week when we start talking about establishing a suit. But if there's like a long suit in the dummy that we want to use to pitch our losers on, and we have to set it up first, in other words, we have to lose a trick or two in that suit, then we're going to need entries to be able to get over there when the suit is established. And that's a reason sometimes to keep trump in the dummy as well, when you need them for entries. Yeah. All right, or maybe you want to take a finesse towards your hand. You need an entry in the dummy to get there, and maybe the dummy was really weak, and the only thing it happened to have was the 10 of trump that you can get to. So I don't think there's any reason not to. You have another person's idea here. She's sharing with me instead of sharing with the crowd. I think we should probably share these with the crowd. So the idea was to play the spades and exit with a club, and then end play the diamonds. Well, And that's interesting. So if in a proper end play, I think what's being suggested is when we exit with the club, if we play out the spades, um, basically eliminate the spades, that when we then lead a club, whoever has the ace of clubs will be forced to lead, so that we can basically they take the finesse for us, right? Which means West would have the ace of clubs, and West would have to be forced into leading a diamond. That's a real plan, without a doubt, but it might be unnecessary with this hand because we can do it ourselves. We don't need to worry about a finesse, in other words. Okay, so they're a little aware of what was going on. We had 4 trump fall, didn't we? So there's 2 more out. Yep, way to go, Mark. Fortunately, only need 1 to rough with. So we don't need to do an end play on this. We don't need to try a finesse. Right? All we need to do is shorten up a diamond suit. Now we play the king of diamonds. And now our losing diamond, the one that we were worried about, is no longer a loser because we can simply rough it. I forget it might have been Victor Malo said that you don't have to learn how to do the fanciest plays in the world, the kind of plays that come up only once in a great while, until after you've learned how to nail these simple problems. This hand right here was a hand on which I scored like 78% or something. It was a big score in a robot tournament game, right? And all I did was this simple little thing. This is not brain surgery. This one's pretty simple, right? I just needed to rough a diamond, but I couldn't do it yet because I had too many diamonds. So I had to get rid of 1 diamond in the dummy. Just that simple thing gets me to 11. Now, nobody bid 5 clubs, including me. I bid 3 clubs. I passed the 3 club bid, but it's more exciting when it's 5 clubs, isn't it? So I was 3 clubs making 11 tricks, where others were making 4. Push the wrong button. We don't want the hand editor. You ever got time on your hands and you want to have some fun? Start playing with the hand editor. It's cool. All right. So I East dealt and passed, and I have a nice hand. Give it a name, I'd call it a 2-suited hand, right? Spades and diamonds, short and hearts and clubs. I have 516 points. So can't really, so it's an 2-suited invitational hand. I'm going to open at a spade, obviously. And I get 2 spades. Now I'm a good invitational hand right here, and I've got 2 suits. When we get to the situation where you have 1 major and 2 major, and that's whether it's this one or if I open a club and then we go 1 major, 2 major, then we have a variety of ways to make a game try when we have a good invitational hand. All right. Now, if you're playing match points, you don't want to do this unless you have a good invitational hand. There is no reason to get into an iffy game at match points. Playing Swiss, though, playing imps, very often you're going to stretch this invitation, right? You're going to big game if you can, right? And you will stretch an invitation. But here I don't think it's really stretching an invitational bid, right? I mean, if the ace of hearts is in the right place, we got it. The king is a winner. We only have 1 club. We have a fit. And then we have the queen jack of diamonds. I mean, if you just give your partner the king of diamonds, give him king doubleton, and look how nice it gets. And I don't think that's asking a lot. Your partner has said he has 8 or 9 points, and they're not in spades, Right? So he's got 8 or 9 elsewhere. The robots have, and this is just for fun, right? The robots have this great gimmick, and it's called three-way game tries. And the way they play it is this. You bid 2 no trump, and it says, I have a short suit someplace. This is called a short suit game try. It says, I have a short suit someplace. And then if the robot is at his maximum, he just bids 4 spades, right? Because it's an invitation. And he'll just bid 4 spades if it's maximum, and he doesn't really care about your short suit. But if where your short suit matters to him, then he will ask you by bidding the next suit up, right? Which is clubs. Right? Now, to tell him that clubs is my suit, I bid the one suit he knows that I'm not short in, which is spades. Okay. I'm not sure he'll go on if I do this, so I'm a little tempted not to do it. But so I bid spades. Yeah, he passed. We're gonna take that back. So I want to play a game. Anyways, I wanted to show you that bid. I remembered that it was on this hand. In the hand that I saved, he went to game after I showed him the clubs. So we'll do it again, but this time pretend we're playing Swiss, and I'm looking for a big imp swing here by bidding 4 spades because of my solid spades and my king of hearts. Partner doesn't have much. Partner doesn't have much. He had 4 spades and a stiff heart and a king of diamonds. He has the king 10 of diamonds. So, he bid on 4 points. God bless his little robot heart. And I went to game on it. So now we got to make. No spade losers, obviously. Right? Hearts, right? This is the power of position, right? In honors, the way we talked about it the first couple weeks. Power, promotion, and position. This is a position case. If the ace of hearts is in East's hand, then the king of hearts can score, so long as we don't lead from our hand. If the ace of hearts is in West's hand, then it really doesn't matter. And right now we have no idea where it is. But if we happen to be in North's hand at some point, we might think about leading at the king of hearts. And maybe that gets us a trick. But right now, as it sits, we have 2 heart losers. Right? We have to count them both. We're going to come up with a plan for one of them. Actually, we come up with a plan with one of them. And then we have a club loser. So that's 2 losers. And then we have the ace of diamonds losing. Ace of diamonds is losing. But after that, we have the king, queen, 10, jack. So that's 4 of them. So we have 3 winners, right? So obviously, we have 3 winners in diamonds, meaning we have 1 loser. So a losing diamond, a losing club, and 2 losing hearts. Anybody want to make a plan? Two heart losers, a losing club, and a losing diamond, and nothing we can do about the club, right? It's going to happen right now, and nothing we can do about the diamond. So the only losers we can work with are the heart losers. And how do we want to get rid of a heart loser? This one's pretty simple, pretty straight ahead. Wipe out the trump, lose the diamond, and toss the heart. Toss the heart. So this would be shortening it, just like we did the last one. We're going to shorten. We'll play the heart in the dummy on a winning diamond trick, and then we can rough hearts. So that's interesting. We got draw the trump, then play the diamonds out. Which I think gets us to the same position. Nobody even wants to take a shot at the king of hearts, huh? Let's lose this one. See what he leads next. Maybe sometimes when you're stuck to know exactly what to do, they'll lead something, give you an idea. Nah, they didn't do that. If they'd led the diamond, might have given us a better idea. So how many hearts would we love? In this plan that somebody's come up with, I forgot who, I'm sorry, and scroll by. We were gonna try to pitch that heart on a diamond, basically shorten the heart suit, and then ruff two trump. We'd want to have two trump in the hand for that, and there's a good chance we could, right? We have 10. Is there a reason? I mean, the reasons we might keep the trump in, not pull the trump, would be we need an entry, we need to ruff with them. Um, and the only reason that we would worry about that is if the trumps didn't divide well, right? And they didn't. So this creates a problem. We can't ruff two trumps and two hearts and pull trump. And we could lose a heart here. So there were 10 trump. We had 10, and Robot had 3, all little ones. We can just take them all right now, play a heart, and then ruff a heart, and that gets rid of 1, and we make 10 tricks. The danger in playing diamonds first, I guess, is only that West would be short in diamonds. I just can't help it. I just really can't stand to not lead in an honor. So if we're going to shorten hearts anyways, we know that if we can ruff 2 hearts, we'll be fine. What is wrong with my plan right now? Nothing. He leads one of his heart, one of his trump, and now I can ruff this trump. Kind of curious to see whether they would have let us get away with pitching that. It was an interesting plan somebody came up with, and I'm going to just throw it up there. Let's see if it worked. The plan that was suggested was, let's lose the ace of diamonds first and set up a winner. And my only worry on that is that that's without pulling the trump first. Oh, he said to pull the trump first, though. So what did we do? 1 spade, 2 spades, 4 spades. No, 4 spades. And there was the club. This is a plan to try to get us 2 heart ruffs. And to do this, I think we're going to need to have, that was probably a mistake. Needed to do this first. Okay, so they got him cough up the ace, and he let another one, and here was the problem. The guy with 3 trump got it. Maybe we could have, we'll come back to that. I'll save this one. I'll claim if anybody wants to try that one and see if it works. You saw the plan that was up there. I didn't execute it right. I should have maybe pulled another round of trump. No, you need to, if the idea is to ruff 2 hearts, then you got to, it's never going to work because you're going to find out that 3 zeros. So you're going to get over ruffed. Well, not if you keep the 10 of spades. Sorry, got distracted. I like that plan a lot. And we're short on time, so why don't we just try it one more time? Somebody help me out here and see if I can get this right. Hopefully if I bid 4 spades, we won't get a different lead. Yeah. So okay, so this is going to be, he's got 2 diamonds. This will be his first one. At least, and he gives us the heart lead, which we might as well try. So they changed up when I bid 4 spades. Oh well. And now a diamond back. So probably my plan was right the first time, was just to just take a shot at the king of hearts, and when it didn't work. Um, and when it didn't work, when you lost the king of hearts, then just go ahead and ruff the last one, which gets you 10 points and 10 tricks. All right, so didn't get through very many hands again because I just talk. It's 5 o'clock. There were 3 more. I'm going to throw 3 extra tricks, 3 extra hands in the video review. I will also post this one so you can look at what we did here and see how I got distracted by the plan to somehow try to set up 2 heart ruffs. But I'll do all the hands that we did already a little bit quicker, so they're easier to review without having to wait. I've found that if I make a movie doing it that way, it's generally about 30 minutes shorter. Oh, good question. I got a question here on how to save a hand. This is something you got to know how to save hands, because you got to review your mistakes. So you need to save your mistakes into folders and then review them at teaching tables later. What you do is go to history, tab on the right, okay, and here, maybe if I make it really big, we can actually get it in the screen. So I can't make the screen any larger. Okay, so yeah, I can't. Too bad. No, I can't do it. All right, so if you go to the hand that's in question, you'll see this little on the new version, you get a screen, a diagram of the hand. If in the corner of that diagram is 3 blue lines, and if you pull that down, you get a pop-up that says picture of cards, advance card by card, show double dummy, and export. Hit export, right? It says send a member. That's what you do when you've played a hand and you think, well, what would Hugger think of this one? You export the hand and send it to me. If you click that one, it'll just say, you put my name on it and you can send it. You can write a little bit. This one, the send robot report, this is what you do when the robots have been rude. If they're rude to you at the table, then you can report them. Or if they've been crazy and there's been a glitch, that's probably more likely to be it. The hand viewer link is interesting. This gives you a little link, and you can put that into emails and stuff, and or onto a screen, and it will pop up the actual hand. And that's good when you're trying to embed it. You should have this option, and you should be with anything, Sue. I don't know why you wouldn't. And then export, right? And this export is the one where you do save deal as, right? Hit save deal as, and it will give you a whole list of, and I can bring this back over, I think. It will give you a list of folders. These are all your folders. Look at how many folders I have. I've been here for a while. Right? Look at all these Chick folders. I've stolen so many hands from Chick. I've taken so many classes from her. Here are some things like this is a Hugh Kelsey book on finessing, which I copied all of the hands, built all the hands, and now I have them in this folder so that I could go through and look at them if I wanted to. Oops, where'd we go? But you pick out a folder. Now notice that I have this one here called the fail folder. Right, and that's because, as I told you, I played a lot of robot tournaments, and that's where they all get saved. And it's almost always gigantic. I can't keep up. Here's one called Good, Bad, and Ugly, which was a series I was thinking about doing where I did good and where I did bad and where I did really, really bad. Here's one where I've been saving No Trump Devils. You know, those one No Trump hands? This thing's huge. I'm going to get into it someday. But then here is the hands that we use. They're all technique hands. We're going to get into some of them. The next one we're going to do is establishing a suit. Right? And basically, for establishing a suit, I wish you could see that, and I'm not sure why you can't. I guess it needs to be over here. I built these folders. You start out by creating a folder, and I can show you that if this will come back over. Maybe I can show it to you. In the corner, see where it says select folder? There is a little X. On the new version, you get to your folders by going to Account, the tab called Account, and then when you go to the Account tab, you then, across the top, you have Profile, Settings, Convention Cards, and Deal Archives. You go to Deal Archives, and that's where all the folders are. That now, it's a little... I'm getting used to the new version. I mean, the old version was so much more intuitive, but this works just fine. All the hands that I've kept are there. And so you go to the Deal Archives, you go to whichever one. Like for us, I've had, if maybe you can see on the side of the screen. Oh, you might be able to see everything. I'm sorry, I'm being an idiot. I'm looking at the movie screen. You're looking at the whole screen. But for instance, Next Steps 2.4, that's our second session, and this was the fourth week. And in this one were all the hands that I had gathered to show today. So that's the way to do it. So here are these Muskegon. This is a club I go play, and these I can download all of the hands using the common game, and then I can play them at home and figure out what I did wrong and why my partner was so mad at me. Here is a great book. This is Christophe Martens. It's a book called The Working Horse. Best book on defense probably I've ever read. I'm working my way through it so slowly. Deal Archive, yeah. It changed drastically from the old one, from the old setup on these. It was so easy before, but you can still do it, but boy, it takes a lot more clicking. Ask Nancy, ask Dave, these are partners, and I've saved the hand to ask them question. Here's a folder of just hard 3 no trump hands. Okay. Anyways, that's enough for today. I will get the movie out, and we'll see you next week. And if anybody has any questions, just go ahead and shoot them to me on the email, and I will get this posted up in a little bit, and then I'll do a quick movie with all the hands. Next week, I think it's time to move on and start talking about some suit establishment. We are halfway through, and there's a little bit more I want to do before we finish this session. All right. See you. Thanks all, and you're welcome. And it's always fun to see you. Okay. Till next time.